Biathlon World Cup is brought to you in association with Warsteiner, partner in the Eurosport team.
A fine, crisp morning at the Hольменколлен Stadium for the men's 10-kilometer sprint. 10,000 meters, 2 visits to the range. The first standing up, the first one lying down, the second one standing up. You can see the wind there. Very, very little wind. They range in the shadow of the hill and really good conditions for shooting. It was a lot colder than that earlier on, -4 now, but the day really promising to be an excellent one for outdoor sport, and in particular for these biathletes. As you can see, the route here, it doesn't look on that little graph to be very tough, but these are new tracks, and what we've seen already earlier in the week on the 20-kilometer test for the men is that they are quite demanding, and that if you go too quick and come into the range too fast, not allowing enough time to control your heartbeat, then you are unsteady, and that's when the shooting mistakes occur. So the first man to get us underway, Einar Pruka for Italy, has yet to score any World Cup points this season. And all of these competitors going off at 30-second intervals, carrying with their rifle the 10 shots. And unlike the 20-kilometer test, this sprint, the rules different at the shooting range. If you miss a shot, then you ski a penalty loop of 150 meters, and that takes you about 20 seconds. Second away, another of the Italians, the more experienced 29-year-old Alberto Carrara, 11th in last year's World Cup rankings, but more importantly, a good third in Sweden in the first sprint of the season. Canada's Tony Fiala. Hольmenkollen Hill looking a little naked without the snow around. These trails, though, are made from natural snow, although there isn't a lot. They've done very well here. Michael Löfgren, the World Cup champion of 1993, starts his challenge. He had a nightmare in Sweden on home snow in the sprint. He ended up 60th, having dropped 4 shots, so hoping for better things today. Finished a very good second in the 20-kilometer test, just dropped 1 shot last Thursday. Wiesław Zimmerman for Poland, currently outside the top 30 in the rankings. Like Löfgren, he really had a race to forget in Sweden in the first sprint, ended up 75th, only dropped 2 shots, which suggests that he's not yet found his speed across the snow. Egil Yellen for Norway, relatively new name on the biathlon circuit at World Cup level. Finished 14th on Thursday in the points, dropped a couple of shots on the 20-kilometer test. Now Vadim Sacharin for Belarus, 25-year-old from Minsk, like pretty well all of the Belarus team soldiers. 23rd in the first sprint of the season, but Sacharin, very good 6th place in the 20-kilometer test. Now here's Löfgren in for the first shoot. Sets the base, loads there goes the mag with the 5 bullets. The target 50 meters away. Width of the target 45 millimeters. Top of a Coca-Cola or soft drinks can. Very fast and efficient shooting here, but oh, snatched it. Looks to be 8 o'clock miss. And Löfgren, 1 mistake, and away he goes on the penalty loop. Pruka, the first man away, will still hold the lead because it's going to take Löfgren about 20 seconds. Sacharin going well, very good, and that was very quick shooting by Sacharin. Currently in the top 10 for this season's World Cup rankings. Scored points in all of the 3 races before today. just to remind you, in biathlon, unlike alpine skiing or Nordic cross country, only the top 30, the top 25 score here as opposed to the top 30. Löfgren, another 2 shots dropped there. Sasharin in for his second shoot now. And Löfgren's chances once again going away at the range. Sasharin, though, 1 shot dropped at the second visit. But having done the penalty loop, 14 seconds, the advantage that he has at the moment. Rozakov, clean sheet, 5 out of 5 at his first visit to the range. Rozakov, who was 7th in Sweden, dropped a shot there at the first visit when he was lying down. So far just a little better, 5 seconds, that's nothing. He can get that back. 7 on the drive towards the finish line. This is Sasharin. 22 seconds up, as you can see there on the Norwegian. Löfgren's going to come across the line. Löfgren in 26-28, so he's got the lead. But remember, he would have been probably in the order of about 25 minutes and 40 seconds, but for all those shots that he's given away. Yellen trying to close the gap, but Sasharin is now the man who's the early pace setter here. Coming to the 200-meter mark, swooping down the hill. Really lovely conditions. Good visibility, no wind. Couldn't wish for better in terms of competition conditions. And he's gonna get ahead of Löfgren. But where he ends up rather depends on how costly that 1 drop shot was. Scampering in now, about 11 seconds I should think. Sasharin, 26-12, 16 seconds ahead of Löfgren, which just shows that the Swede was quicker across the snow. Now Björndalen for Norway, second visit, standing up and he drops a shot. So the 21-year-old from Simosteinner, not for the first time, has to go out on the 150-meter loop. Björndalen, who was 8th in the first sprint of this new Rogas Biathlon World Cup season. Now Rikko Gross, one of the great talents for Germany. Gross into the range for the first time, the Olympic silver medalist in both 1992 and 1994, and the world bronze medalist from last season in Anhalt. So this sprint is really his speciality. Good marker, good follow. Oh, look at this, knocking him off in less than 10. Oh, that's brilliant shooting by Gross. Now he had a clean shoot in Östersund, finished 12th in the sprint there, so it's his skiing that he's got to improve on, find that little bit of extra pace, but this is going to put Gross right on the premises. You can see here he's coming round, wearing bib number 44, but he's not the fastest, so he's done well in the range. In the range for the second time now, this is Rozakov. First visit was fine, but the second visit, a drop shot there by Rozakov, so he's out on the penalty loop. Frude Andrasen, just 2 points in Sweden for finishing 24th in the sprint. He dropped a couple of shots there. And he's dropped one here as well. Andrasen was 10th in the World Championships in the sprint, yet to stand on a World Cup podium. Fast and furious, the sprint. And Ville Räikkönen, that's not a bad start by him either. This man finished 14th in Sweden, opening sprint of the season. Shot clear there, 10 out of 10. So that's a good start, 5 out of 5 so far. So 7 seconds, that's very, very possible. Easy to make that up, I would have thought, for him. Now Muzlinov, the world silver medalist in the sprint, settling in, holding the breath. Oh, costly. And Muzlinov dropped a couple of shots in Sweden, one lying down, one standing up. Can't afford to make another mistake. Well, that's one penalty loop he's got to do. His shooting really not at the moment on top. Muzlinov, he dropped no less than 6 shots over the 20-kilometer test. Now Kirchner. But if Rikko Gross is the expert, this man really is the champion. Olympic champion in 92 and world champion in 1990, 91 and 93. Mark Kirchner. When he's on form, few can beat him in this, but he's so far short of his best this season. 16th in Sweden, dropped a shot standing up, so he's another man who's got to go round the loop. And he dropped 5 shots over the 20-kilometer test last Thursday, so again, work to do. Dračev. Dračev, who is one of the fastest skiers at the moment, he's in terrific condition. 4th in Sweden, dropped 1 shot. Just missed the podium. This man who just missed a medal in the Olympic Games in the Birkebeinen Stadium when he finished 4th. And at the moment, look how quick he is, you see. Gets out even with the loop and he's still got the lead. Dračev for Russia, right on the premises. Now Björndalen coming towards the finish now. But I'm afraid 2 shots missed. That's the best part of a minute added to his time. And goes into 3rd place. You can see there he's actually only 20 seconds off the pace at the moment. Sacharin, the man who leads the competition. Oh, Rozakov now, in fact. Rozakov, who we didn't see going across the line. Rozakov from Sacharin. But for those missed shots, Björndalen would have been leading. Well, I thought we'd not seen Rozakov. Here he comes into the stadium now. Challenging Sacharin. Those last positions, the positions of the biathletes as they left the stadium after the 2nd round of shooting. Rozakov storming in now. Just 1 shot missed when standing up, and he takes over. Or does he? No, he drops into 2nd place. Sacharin still leads the competition. So Sacharin, the quicker skier, but still a lot of good Frenchmen and Germans to challenge the Russians. Should be Rikko Gross in the range, standing up. Gross from the German Biathlon Center of Ruhpolding, which next year will host the Biathlon World Championships. 5 out of 5, so that's a clean sheet again. Exactly the same as he did in Sweden. It's all about cross-country skiing now. Rozakov's time. Now remember, Rozakov the fastest so far to this point, but not the fastest man in the clubhouse. Sacharin is the man who leads at the moment, so that's really the target for Rikko Gross. Now, Frude Andrason. Again, a drop shot. And that's going to push his chances well back. Tilden, 65. Getting all the cheers, this 27-year-old local man. Well, not really local, he comes from Suosa, the defending World Cup champion. He was the fourth best sprinter of last season. Frude Andrasen just going out as we switch back now to Räikkönen of Finland. Oh, that's much better. 4 shots dropped in the 20 kilometers, but he's back to the sort of form that he showed in the sprint in Sweden. So again, another man to get 10 out of 10. And these conditions really very good, and we should see a decent number of clean sheets. So Räikkönen faster than Gross. Now this is the position leaving the range at the second round of shooting, not at the finish. He really attack the climb now once the shooting's over. 44 there, that's Rikko Gross. 62 just going through Ilmari Brishis of Latvia. Now Gross 10 seconds up. Patris Байи-Сален, one of the best biathletes around. This 31-year-old Frenchman who dropped to 7th in the World Cup rankings last season, having won the World Cup in 1994. He's got 6 wins, I should say, to his credit, but perhaps the most important one, the World Championship last season. Into the range, Mark Kirchner, second time. Now Kirchner dropped a shot the first time. 25 years of age. Bags of experience. But don't believe what you see here will necessarily be the form that he'll show when it comes to World Championship time in February. Mark Kirchner, very much a man for the big occasion. And that's a poor miss at 7 o'clock. So 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. Kirchner wasting 45 seconds. Dračev. And the man from St. Petersburg, 2 shots. Oh, 1 miss there. Re-establishes. A miss at 6 o'clock. We'll go to the final one on the left now. Oh no, went for the same one. Well, that's unusual. Usually they keep to the plan. So Dračev round the penalty loop. And look how quickly he scampers away. Well, I'm not sure if he's going round a second time. Well, he only missed. He really is amazingly quick. Well, Dračev, this is extraordinary. Dračev is doing 2 laps of the penalty loop, and he's only missed 1 shot. What on earth does he think he's doing? Goodness knows he's making it hard enough for himself when he drops 1 shot, but to do 2 penalties, and look at that, he's only 24 seconds off the pace. Had he not done that second penalty loop, he'd have been right on terms. That's amazing. So Dračev now with 24 seconds to make up. If he wins this, it'll be quite some achievement. Gross coming into the finish now, and you can see there he's got enough, I think, to push Sacharin down. Hasn't been on the podium this year as yet. Rikko Gross 25, the clock didn't actually stop, but 25.57. 15 seconds quicker than Sacharin of Belarus, and that's a promising performance by the German. Alexander Popov from Minsk, disappointing there, 2 shots dropped, so he really does have to do 2 penalty loops. Into the range now, this is Viktor Майгуров of Russia. Well, he dropped 2 shots in Sweden when he finished 20th. But just missed out on the podium here on Thursday over the 20-kilometer test, double today's distance, when he dropped a couple of shots which left him in 4th place. Nine years on the biathlon trail for Russia, Майгуров. So, of course, a former representative of the Soviet Union and then the CIS, or Équipe Unifiée. Майгуров, you see, not terribly quick across country. Really is a lovely day for competing and spectating. Pity there aren't a few more spectators, although I think for Sunday there'll be a lot more out for the relays. Biel Räikkönen, clean sheet, 10 out of 10. That's good shooting by him. And he's another man who's going well in the sprints. He got 10 out of 10 shots home in the Swedish sprint, the first of the season. So this will really encourage him after last Thursday when he dropped 4 shots. 7.7 seconds off the pace. He goes in behind Räikkönen, but ahead of Sacharin. Jonagi Tilden. So the lead at the moment, Rikko Grosss of Germany is first, then Biel Räikkönen ahead of Vadim Sacharin. Jonagi, World Cup champion last season, but he also got the season-long title in 1992. And in this sprint discipline, he's been twice a World Cup winner. And he took the silver medal in the World Championships in '93. 66, this is Ludwig Greдлер. Where's the red bib for the sprint leader? Now that's the championship which he's probably got his best chance in since he opened the season in Östersund with a win. Gredler for Austria as Frank Look. Germans in very fair early season form. You'd have to wonder about that. Usually with the World Championships, they make that their main target. But biathlon, unlike a lot of sports, has World Championships every single season. Look. So the '89 World Sprint Champion starts his account here in good fashion. Look, who was third in the World Cup 2 seasons ago, but dropped to 9th last year. So far has opened up well. He was 5th in the 20-kilometer test last Thursday. Before that, he was 9th in Sweden over 20 kilometers and 11th in the sprint. So 3 very good results for the experienced German. Now Байи-Сален just bringing himself under control for the first shoot. Choosing his range. So the world champion at the range, first shooting. Well, finds the target very quickly the first time. Well, that's world championship form. Good speed, but look at Drachev's time. Vladimir Drachov of Russia, who was the leader, or is the fastest man to this first point. In other words, the first round of shooting. And Байи-Сален going to have a few seconds to make up, but he's in touch. Also worth remembering that if Байi-Сален can keep a clean sheet, then he'll have a 20-second advantage over, well, in fact, now we know a 40-second advantage over Drachov, who skied one penalty loop too many. And here is Drachov coming in to challenge the time of Rikko Gross, coming up to it now. Drops down, now chasing Räikkönen in second place. Won't make that either in the final 100. Looking to get ahead of Sacharin, and he's going to be very close there. Is he making it? Just goes into third place, 14 seconds off the pace. But we reckon he skied at least 20 seconds more than he had to. So Gross still in the lead for Germany. Tildum climbing the hill for the final time, in the lead at the moment. Rikko Gross from Germany, second place. Räikkönen ahead of Vladimir Drachov, and then Vadim Sacharin. And actually, Drachov and Sacharin are in 6 and well, very close together. In fact, there's just 0.6 between them. But Drachov will be no doubt talking to his coaches about that. Really, somebody from the Russian squad should have been watching him round the penalty loop and putting him right. So Tildum, Yonage, with still about 1,500 meters to go to the finish line. Now Tarasov. In the range, he's dropped, as you can see, one shot. Well, that's better. Tarasov of Russia, very, very experienced biathlete. Round he goes. .9 seconds off the pace, so that's in touch despite the damage of losing a shot. This, of course, the state of play at this particular phase of the competition. Räikkönen ahead of Tarasov and Gross, but we know that Gross has ended up in the clubhouse ahead of Räikkönen. Now Майгуров for Russia. The relays promise to be really exciting, with good French and good German and good Russian and Belarus squads. So Майгуров for the second time. And so far going better than he did in Sweden in the first sprint. Got 2 shots there so far, still fast and clean. Good, didn't rush it. Always a temptation on the sprint when you can scamper around the penalty loop quite quickly to go for it, but Майгуров resisting that and getting 10 out of 10. So the shooting's better than Sweden. Now is the skiing faster. 2.6 his advantage at at the moment. Now Tildum coming through to challenge Dračev's time. He's not going to do that. You can see both men dropped a shot as he now looks to try and wrestle 8th place as it is away from Kirchner, who dropped 2 shots. So you can tell from that Tildum not at the moment skiing as fast as he needs to. And pretty tired from the effort. As I mentioned right at the beginning of the race, these trails, new trails this year, regarded by all as being pretty tough. Now the World Cup leader, the overall leader, after 3 races. Early days in the season for Svend Fischer, but he'll be very happy to be wearing that yellow bib. 24-year-old German soldier. Runner-up in the World Cup in '94. He's never won the World Cup. And was a little disappointing in the World Championships. He was only 26th in the sprint. He's been around in this sport for some 12 years, so he really does know what it's all about. Can't afford to drop another shot, that's for sure. Like Dračev, he's already demonstrated good speed across the snow. So chasing Майгуров, who's got 10 out of 10. And Fischer is faster. Although he's skied an extra 150 meters, he's still ahead on the clock. So Майгуров chasing Rikko Gross, and now Svend Fischer on the charge as well. Tarasov behind the leaders, but he's in 3rd place at the moment. Coaches clustered around their sites. Unfortunately for Dračev, not one of them was keeping an eye on him. Frank Luck in for the 2nd time. Now, always great rivalry between him and teammate Svend Fischer. At the moment, Luck, in terms of shooting, doing rather better. Just missed it. Between 5 and 6 o'clock, not by much, but just on the edge there, so he has to ski a penalty loop, exactly the same as Fischer, although he dropped a shot. Lying down did Fischer. Майгуров challenging Raikkonen's time. He's right on terms now. This is the 7.9 kilometer point, so just over 2,000 meters to go to the finish line in the stadium, and he's 13 seconds ahead in the lead at this particular point. But we know that Raikkonen lost time here, and Rikko Gross stormed in. Now Байи-Сален, 2nd shooting. So a good start for the world champion. But this particular shooting, standing up, aiming at the target. Once again, 50 meters away, but the base far less stable than when you're lying down. So the target that little bit bigger at 115 millimeters in diameter. Well, he's in cracking form this morning. Well, he's going to really lift his own and French spirits. My goodness, when he's in form, it really does boost the team's chances. Very, very good. You see, tall man, gets a lot of drive. Good length and extension on the skating. And he's on terms, 8 seconds to make up for Байи-Сален. Pretty tight up the top of the table. You can see there the first three. Fisher, who's yet to finish. Майгуров hasn't come into the finish line yet. Neither, of course, has Байи-Сален. We're waiting for Tarasov as well. Swin Fisher. Very quick, look at this. 13 seconds up, ahead of Майгуров, despite the drop shot. Tarasov, the Olympic champion, over 20 kilometers. Just one error at the range. But as yet, I don't think quite back to top form. But that's not bad from Tarasov. He was 21st in Sweden, dropped a shot there. Looks as if he's going to finish a little higher than that today. Well, the very important people trying to give a bit of encouragement and waiting for Fisher and Look to come into sight. Now, closing on the finish, Майгуров chasing the time of Rikko Gross. Both men with error-free shooting at the range now. Майгуров zooming down the hill now to the 200-meter mark. That's that little box just on the right of your screen. You can see it there. Майгуров. He'll have been given the splits and told where he stands as he skis in towards the finish now, challenging to take the lead away from Rikko Gross. And he's just about going to do it. So Russia take over from Germany by 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds. And Майгуров, who was only 20th in Sweden, having dropped a couple of shots, certain to do much better than that, and might well get a place on the podium. But still, Fisher, Look, Байи-Сален still to come. So that's the finish position at the moment. Майгуров for Russia, Gross for Germany, Räikkönen for Finland, then Драчёв for Russia. Look at that, he skied an extra penalty loop, but for that, he might have been leading. He almost certainly would have been on the podium. So still out in the woods around the back of the Hольmenkollen hill, Svend Fisher. He's certainly a danger to Майгуров and Rikko Gross. This is Fisher's last round of shooting. Faultless, unlike the first visit when he dropped a shot. Look how quickly he is away. He doesn't bother to sort out the poles until he's got moving. And here he is, into view now. Now let's look at the time here, 25:07 and running ahead of Майгуров. Over 200 meters to go though. Fisher. It's going to be pretty close. This is nip and tuck actually. Very, very close between Fisher and Майгуров. Staying in the glide to try and maximize all the speed down that final hill. But now he's got to break out and really skate his way in now. 25:33, there's Майгуров's time on the bottom. 25:46, still 100 meters to go at the moment. Fisher charging in, going very, very close, I think, to Майгуров's time. And is he going to be outside? Just in, half a second. Half a second, when it hardly comes tighter than that. Svend Fisher into the lead, drops a shot at the range, but has just enough power across the cross country to deny Майгуров. So new leader, Svend Fisher ahead of Майгуров. Rikko Gross goes down to third. Räikkönen to fourth, he's off the podium. Then Драчёв and Sacharin and Andresen, Rozakov and Muslinov. Those are the leaders at the moment, but goodness knows that was tight. Remember, Svend Fischer, the winner of the 20-kilometer test on Thursday, trying here to complete the Hольменколлен double. There's not many biathletes, there's not many cross-country skiers that do 2 in a row at a venue. And Uwe Musikak will have a little chat with Fischer about that. Had he not dropped the shot, clearly he would have been in very, very good shape. Now Frank Luuk, he's already past the time of his teammate Svend Fischer. And Luuk can't get a podium position. Not today, at least. But again, he's going to be in the points. Challenging for a top 10 place, outside that now, so top 15. Yes, he's going to get that 12th at the moment for Frank Luuk. 37 seconds, again, a penalty loop to have skied. Take off 25 seconds, would have left him 12 seconds off the pace, which, to be honest, wouldn't have got him on the podium, but he would have been certainly about 5th or 6th. Now Байи-Сален chasing Svend Fischer. So another close finish in prospect, although having said that, he's got the whole of the hill and 200 meters to go. So the world champion trying to record his first victory of the season, 6th in Sweden in the first sprint. Still 200 meters to go for Байи-Сален, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to take the win, but he's trying at least to get on the podium. Very close to Rikko Gross, though. 54, 55, no, he's going to just miss out. 58, 12 seconds off the pace. No shooting mistakes, but an improvement on his first sprint. And certainly Байи-Salen's in reasonable early season form. 105 at the range, Bjørndalen. Well, that's a better effort from him. Five good shots there, but you can see in terms of speed across the snow, this man well out of contention. 1 minute and 23 seconds off the pace. 109 coming in now. This is Patrick Favre of Italy, runner-up in last season's World Cup. 12th on Thursday in the 20-kilometer test. That was not a bad effort. He dropped a couple of shots lying down there. 5th in last season's World Championship sprint. But this is not the start he wanted. And 300 extra meters is going to ruin his chance of challenging for a leading position. Taking quite a long time to get himself sorted out there. His confidence gone, I think, having dropped those 2 shots. It's very hard to recover when you make mistakes like that in the sprint. Jens Steiningen for Germany. They really do have a good squad. 1 or 2 of the old boys there, but there's some good youngsters coming through as well. Jens from Ruhpolding. Steiningen, who had a very good result in the 92 Olympics in the sprint when he finished 2nd, 6th I should say. Had a couple of wins in World Cup. It was a little disappointing last season, dropped down to 17th in the rankings. Capable of better. He's another of the biathletes who hasn't yet really hit top form. But remember, the Germans, like all the countries, having to choose a squad or a team of 4 for each of their races. So unlike World Cup, where they can put more competitors in the competition, in the World Championships, they're much more restricted. So the competition will be tough, hard and hot to represent their country in Ruhpolding. So just a few images from the range now, but it looks as if Svend Fischer's got the weekend double. Coming up the hill, number 80, this is Viktor Майгуров, who really would feel a little unfortunate perhaps that he didn't get the victory, but it was Svend Fischer who commanded the day, despite dropping a shot at the range the first time. Enough speed across the snow to take a second Hольменколлен World Cup gold. Scampering in, almost diving across the line. The difference between him and Майгуров at the end of 10,000 meters and 2 rounds of shooting, half a second. Confirmation, victory to Svend Fischer of Germany by half a second over Майгуров. Rikko Gross of Germany, his first podium of the season. Patris Байи-Сален is in good form, 10 out of 10 at the range. Ulе-Éinar of Italy, of Finland, also in good form. Sacharin, that's a good race by him. That will certainly give him encouragement. And Tarasov, the individual Olympic champion over 20 kilometers, beginning to perhaps show that he's on the way back. Michael Löfgren of Sweden, he's got to sort the shooting out. When he does that, he'll be a contender again. So these the final positions. Only the top 25 score World Cup points, so Noberius gets 1 point. For now, from the Hольменколлен, thanks for your company. Join us for the relays later today.
The Biathlon World Cup